What's up, guys? There's a huge stack here that I'm fixing to talk about here soon. Welcome to the Verse Vlog. Today is Thursday, and I hope you guys enjoyed my Criticon video. And real quick, before I do that, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, real quick. Just wanted to say thanks for watching again, thanks for subscribing, etc. I hope you guys liked my first introduction video. I hope you guys commented and did whatever you needed to do, basically. But yes, today is the first official vlog for me, and this is still kind of going to be an introduction because this is what I'm basically going to talk about is my fighting game collection. And you're probably not going to see it from here, but there's a huge stack right here and there's a huge stack down here. And it's just Xbox games. We haven't even got started on the PlayStation games. I'm pretty sure you won't even see me by the time I start stacking my PlayStation games on here. It's gonna be crazy. So, first up, in the fighting game collection, I'm gonna start off with the most obvious thing that people know me for. There you go. Yes. This is, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna say 3. 3 was the game I started out in, and it's one of my all-time favorites. But honestly, whatever Edegaki did before he left, these are all the great games. 4, 3, Ultimate 1 and 2, you name it, man. This is a great fucking game, and if you still haven't played it, you need to. Another one that's coming up right now is a pretty decent one. It's DOA Dimensions for the 3DS. Love this game too. Even though I find the re-storytelling a bit awkward, since they changed up a couple stuff, I would say. But nevertheless, this is a pretty good game. Another one of mine is this. Yeah, I just, I don't have the jewel case for this, but guess what? Now I have like a bunch of original copies of like the first and second DOA. So that's pretty awesome. This one, man. This is it. This is the game. I don't know, even though that's in another vlog, I don't know what happened from 5, or from 3 to 5. It's pretty obvious though, isn't it? But, yeah. Another one, real quick. Yes. I probably have like 3 copies of this. 3 copies of the same game. It's pretty crazy. I love DOA 2. DOA 2 is always going to be a classic, such as what you see here. This is another classic. They told me the differences of this game. There's huge differences between these two games, actually. I think the PlayStation 2 version had more crazy fluorescent lighting stages, like the lighting was really overdone in the PlayStation 2 version compared to the Dreamcast version. And again, how can you deny my love for DOA, man? It's amazing. It's came a long way. I've been playing the game for like nearly a decade and a half. And of course, like, what comes with this is the reimagining of both games. Technically 2, as like they just imported the Sega Saturn or PlayStation 1 version to the Ultimate, the first game. But the second one, this collection marks my second copy of the original DOA and the third copy of DOA 2, which is just ridiculous, man. And if you thought that box was big enough, look at this beast. Look at that beast. 2012, man. Then what's still crazy about this is that while Killer Instinct had one of the best netcodes out there since 2013, this still has one of the greatest fighting game graphics since 2012. And that was like, shit, it's been 3 years ago, man. Ridiculous shit. So let me put that big ass piece of metal right there. Starting in the Xbox games, we got a nice one called Soul Calibur 4. This one was kind of my favorites. As far as discussing Soul Calibur, I feel like the story should have ended around 3. 3 was the pinnacle point of the Siegfried and Nightmare trilogy before they just overused it and like changed it up within 4 and 5. Because 5, while it was a good game, and as far as like the battle system and everything, 5's story was lackluster. I could not feel anything for Kira, for Chocolis, or whatever his name was. It was just stretched out to the point where it didn't need to be. And that's why I hated it. But regardless, another game I love to talk about. You know you love your King of Fighters. And of course this is the collection of it. This is 2003. 2003 was the introduction of Ash Crimson, one of the most so-called hated characters in KOF. And then there's also King of Fighters 2002 Dream Match, which a lot of people didn't like either, but King of Fighters is King of Fighters. It's been better, especially when people are still shit-talking 14, but the game, King of Fighters games, presentation, everything matters. And if you guys know, the art matters, which is why everybody loves this game. The art and the gameplay matters. Everything matters. And what's funny enough is that 13 came off the terribly lackluster game that was called King of Fighters 12. And guess what's gonna happen again? They're gonna fuck up King of Fighters 14 maybe? But then there will always be another year for another great game. They're gonna learn off their mistakes and they're gonna do something better, regardless of what I'm saying now. I don't want to shit on King of Fighters 14, but I'm pretty sure the rest of you guys say it's rough. And I'm willing to take a chance on it, but if it says it's coming next year, early next year, it's not going to be Street Fighter V, I'll tell you that. Next up is, this is another huge game I used to like. You guys know it as Marvel versus Capcom. Yeah, this is the collector's edition again. I'm just stacking with collector's editions. This art is great, man. It is so amazing. Look at all that. I don't even know who did the art. I think this part of the side was Udon or something. The guys who make the comics. And here's the exclusiveness of the comic book. Some great fucking times, man. Like, I used to love this game. And nowadays, like, the community still plays it. I don't, because I moved on to Skullgirls. Skullgirls is my game now. And the game is surely not dead, but you know, it is slow. The community and the matches I get online are pretty damn slow. And I don't play it as much as I used to be. This one is very infamous. While the rest of you guys like Capcom vs. SNK out there, this one was probably the one you stayed away from, because this was SNK's take on the whole collaboration of Capcom vs. SNK. And this, if you play this, I think you should already know that it wasn't all that spectacular. It was serviceable. Not as serviceable as Maximum Impact 2, but this was something. And I own it, so yeah. Next up on our list is Dream Factory's last game, with this racist cover. This is Kakuto Chojin. This was Dream Factory's supposedly last game before they shut down. And it's so funny because Dream Factory created numerous titles across the world and Japan. And it was like, man, I kind of like Tobo. I did like Eckert's, but for some reason I did not play Tobo 2, and I played this game already, and it's okay. It's a strong okay. But yeah. Next up is what I consider to be one of the best Mortal Kombat games out there. And it's this. I also got my special edition. You know me. I'm stacking with special editions every day. Yes, the Molina edition of Deception. Deception is, again, one of my all-time favorite Mortal Kombat games. I did play Deadly Alliance. It was a starting point for the game, and it was gonna get there until Deception came out, and Deception just blew my mind. And then Armageddon came out, and you already know what happened to Armageddon. Armageddon was war. It was lazy. If you thought you ever wanted to play a game with 80 plus fighters, you're probably gonna think again after trying out Armageddon. It's God. It's amazing. But yeah. Next up on our list is Battle Fantasia. Yeah, this one's a hidden gem, I would say. I really like this game a lot. And see, this guy, these came from the guys who made Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. And I'm not a huge BlazBlue player, not at all. I was never a fan. I tried to get into it, but I think the story was way too stretched out, and there's way too many editions. I think way more editions than you can say Super Street Fighter 4 Super Turbo Unicorn Edition for the PlayStation 5. You know, man, that game was ridiculous, but regardless, this first take on a 3D game was pretty interesting. And I'm gonna try to see if I have any space here. I can try. Okay. Next up on our list is another infamous one. Yeah. What were you gonna expect, man? I mean, I bought this recently, but what were you gonna expect? This game... We're gonna talk about it later. That's a game. I can't say it's a fighting game. You know, it's also a fighting game, or a game. Street Fighter Cross Tekken. People, we tried. We tried with this game. It was potential. Crazy, wasted potential. I used to play this a lot. And then I was overshadowed by all the stupid looking combos. I was overshadowed by the infinites. And I was overshadowed by the tournament community. To which this game I think only got 1 year. We got 1 year at EVO and it said, nope, you gotta cut it. It's bullshit. High hopes to Tekken Cross Street Fighter, right? Another one is right here. Another favorite of mine. I love Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear X2, Ancient Core Reload. This one's amazing. Or it's not Ancient Core, I'm sorry. It's the Midnight Carnival. I think Ancient Core was the, God, there's so many, like, there's Ancient Core, and then there's Midnight Carnival, and then there's Reload X2. Like, the sequel, man, this was like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This was the Japanese Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This is the most overplayed game I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And that's a good thing, because I'd rather play this game than Blaze Blue. But yeah, all opinions aside, I mean, if you want to talk about Blaze Blue and try to convince me, you can try. But that's a game I played, and that's a game I don't like anymore. Next up is the reboot. The reboot of Mortal Kombat 4 years ago. This was, boy, this game right here, people. Let me tell you something. If you thought Killer Instinct launch day rage quits were bad, you haven't seen anything like this. I used to main Nightwolf, and I used to piss off a lot of people because all I would do against Raiden players and against Kitana players was just do a two-step combo into a grab. A very powerful grab. And I cannot tell you how many rage quits I had. That's right, I used to play Sonya, I used to play Sonya and Nightwolf. Those were my only two characters. I didn't play Scorpion, I didn't play Sub-Zero, but man. This game is good, but you do not want to play it after its online community breakdown. It's amazing, man. Next up is the one of many editions of Street Fighter 4. Gotta say, good game. I don't play it anymore, but you know, 10 years, man. I don't know how you can do it. I think it's been like 7 to 10 years. That's what I feel like, because there's so many editions of Street Fighter 4, it's ridiculous. And of course, this is the only physical copy I got because I updated this to the arcade edition in Ultra on 360. Next up, boy, like Xbox fighters, man. Look at this. Look at this. This is funny. This is super funny. Co-creator of Mortal Kombat, and you dress up the chick like she was just my Shiranui, but with less cooler moves and a lot less personality. You know, I could talk about how the game system mechanics were interesting, but then when you actually played the game, it actually was just janky as fuck. We'll talk about this one in raids one day. One day. Speaking of potential, guys, I don't know. I don't know about you. Is this a fighting game to you, or is this a brawler? I think it's a fighting game. This is one of the best damn fighting games I've touched in a long time. This was 2 years ago. Anarchy Reigns by Platinum Studios. Platinum Studios notorious for Bayonetta 2, Wonderful 101, etc. You should know these guys by now. They even did a new Transformers game that's really awesome. And yet, there's nothing disappointing about this game. The only thing I can say about it was, when this was released in January, people were going crazy over it. And then February came. And then guess what happened? Revengeance happened. Revengeance killed this game's online community. After Revengeance released, the game was absolutely dead. It was so dead. You could not find any matches within the 16 game modes in this fighter. And it's wasted. This game was godlike to me. I used to play this all the time. This was my shit. I played this more than Marvel. I played this more than... God, man. What's the other game? Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was still going at this time. Truly. This is an amazing game, man. I don't know what to say. This was a short-lived game. And the stack is looking like Jenga right now, so hold on. Oh god. We're probably just gonna move these down here. Okay. We're almost done, guys, but just the Xbox collection. Okay. You already know. I got my copy as well. I was looking forward to a collector's edition, but once again, great game. Played it a lot, and now I'm just kind of done with it after its history. This next one, man. This is what happens when your games got over... How should I say? I can't find the words, but here you go, guys. My collector's edition of Soul Calibur 5. Look at this. Look how cool this is. This is like a giant-ass book filled with nice extras, DLC, videos. Just amazing. And look at this back, man. Like, who would have thought you'd be in the game, right? I always took Soul Calibur as a full game, man. And when this came out, the story disappointed me. There were supers in the game? Like, here's something that I'm going to talk about eventually. Maybe starting next week. Or next Thursday. Sometimes Namco just overdoes things, man. Tekken 7 has supers, Tekken 7 has invincible moves, Tekken 7 has this, Tekken 7 has that. What happened to being original? What happened to, you know, just being with the flow? What happened to not disrupting it? What happened to not be over-mechanized and start being original again? Because there's so many things weird with Tekken 7 compared to this Soul Calibur 5. Regardless, I love the music. I love the game. There were supers in it. I was like, sure, I guess that's needed. But the story was horrible, and I just couldn't take it, man. That's another vlog, man. You look forward to that. I'm gonna talk about whether games or not should be staying original to this day or just be over-mechanized. Or should they be over-mechanized to be a better fighting game?